All right, Rick, you teased it a little bit here. Let's talk about some of these non-quarterbacks who could go number one overall. I think producer Claire has the graphic of the some recent odds, and these odds are sort of crazy because it tells me that the odds makers maybe aren't watching as much college guys as we are. Carson Beck's currently has the best odds to go number one overall. You put down $1, Rick, you make $6 million. It's plus 600 for people listening. Tied with Quinn Ewers, Shedeur Sanders a little bit behind him at plus 650. I think you and I both know that Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers are not going first overall, correct?
Absolutely not.
So you would just be throwing away money if you put money down on that now. If you did it over the summer, I get it. I understand you're taking a bet. Of the names you see at the top there, you can use quarterbacks if you want, but I think non-quarterbacks are more likely. Which name pops out to you as the most likely to go first overall as we sit here on October 24th?
Most likely to me is still Travis Hunter. And
that's plus 750. So he's make a little more money than betting on Carson Beck.
Yeah, and he's just too unique of an athlete and can do so many different things. And I think if he was whatever team they put him on the offensive side of the ball, I think this guy would be a returner. He can do anything you want with this kid. So I just think I haven't seen an athlete this unique come out in a long time.
I think the biggest concern with Travis is just not letting yourself fall in love with him to the point that he's on the field for 80 snaps a game.
80? Yeah, he's on for 150 now.
I mean, at the next level.
Yeah, no, that won't happen. He'll never last for preseason and 17 games at the NFL level.
Because that's the only thing stopping him is him getting banged up. I mean, we saw him get banged up. I think the Kansas State game, had a shoulder injury. Played a little bit against Tedrow McMillan last week in that game, in which that Arizona team is not. They need to be better, but that's a conversation for another time. All right, Travis Hunter's there. Give me some other names of non-quarterbacks who could go number one overall. And you mentioned it a moment ago. You don't know if a quarterback's going to be even in that conversation anyway.
Yeah, I don't think Banks. This was, and I took it as, what dark horse do you think can come out of this pack?
Yeah.
So I looked at it as a dark horse, and I went with Abdul Carter. And
goodness, all right, you teased it earlier. Good tease. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is that he looked a little hesitant or still trying to learn a position early in the season. You know, they moved him at edge. They still put him over a guard or a center to try to create some mismatches from a 2-point. So they move him all over the field, just like Jalen that we just talked about, Williams.
Michael Williams and Jalen Walker?
Or Walker. Yeah, I'm sorry. So him and Walker to me were similar, but all of a sudden I watched the Illinois game, then I watched UCLA, then I watched USC. He should play against the California teams a lot because all of a sudden some light came on in him where there's no.
Good. Okay, I haven't seen him yet. All right, good.
Yeah, he is humming off the edge, he's closing to the quarterback. He's becoming more comfortable with his pass rush moves, playing a lot faster because there's less hesitation than what I saw earlier in the season. So I was like, who's this guy in the Illinois game? And then I put on the UCLA game and he had 3 sacks. And then I saw him play well against USC. So I think this kid, whatever happened to him or what happened to him right at the Illinois game, the light bulb went on. And I think that, I know this is a dark horse, but if he continues to trend at the way he's trending and playing the last 3 games, he may be mentioned in that mix as the number 1 overall pick.
I like it. And I like it because obviously you saw the progress that he's made. I haven't watched Abdul yet, so I'm interested to do that. But also, as we talked about not too long ago, the quarterbacks haven't exactly differentiated themselves. And let me check real quick in terms of what the current draft order looks like, because New England Patriots currently have the number 1 overall pick. And I don't know if a team is going to trade up for that pick, given the quarterbacks we've talked about. So if that's the case, they're not taking a quarterback. Now, Carolina and Cleveland pick 2 and 3. They're going to be in the quarterback business. Our guy Bryce Young is playing this weekend, Rick, so we get to see a little redemption, hopefully. But as we sit here, if the Patriots pick first, Abdul Carter could be in the conversation. Now, they need offensive line help. Like, I need hair, but if Abdul Carter's better, I get it. But I think my overarching advice, if you're looking at this graphic, is that under no circumstances would I take any of these quarterbacks at number 1.
No. Absolutely not. And it's a wide open race on who the #1 overall is. But my lead dog right now is Travis Hunter, and my dark horse is Bill Carter.
Yeah, I wonder if Mason Graham will be in that mix. Again, that's 3 defensive guys, 2.5 defensive guys. If you talk about Travis is doing everything else on offense. And
When's the last time? This would be Claire, the producer, while you're sitting there enjoying the show. What is the last time an interior defensive tackle, you can look it up, went first overall? I'm going to guess. I'm just going through my Rolodex.
The Rickadex. Everything has to have Rick in it.
Yeah, the Rickadex. I am going to say Russell Maryland.
That's right.
Let's
1991. See. That's correct.
Dang, Claire. I was looking it up and she beat me to it.
That was my second draft in Detroit when I was a Blesto scout. And so I remember that was my area. So I'll always remember him going #1 overall and came out of my area back in 19.
Oh, wait a second. I don't want to put Claire on the spot here. I'm looking real quick here. 91, Russell Maryland. Yay, Rick. You know that one. 94, Dan Wilkinson, Bengals.
Oh, there's another Ohio Stater.
So I just looked at it real quick. But I'll give Claire points for speed.
Claire, don't listen to him. Just thank you for being in my corner, Claire.
The Google AI feature did me dirty.
Oh, Google AI. Yeah, see, she's younger than we are. She knows how to use the internet to her benefit. I'm over here looking at Pro Football Reference going down the list of former first-round picks. So, yeah, but still, that's the early to mid-'90s. And I'm looking quickly at some other names. Like Miles Garrett obviously plays mostly outside. Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney, outside. Courtney Brown outside. So yeah, you got to go back to the 90s when I was in high school and college. Sweet mercy. All right, so Mason Graham out.
I was out there pounding the bushes with a road map and no cell phone back then,
and a suitcase with a projector in it.
And a suitcase no, we had just gotten to VHS tape.
Did you have to bring the VCR with you or no?
No, but there was. You brought your projector in case the schools have been converted over to VHS tape. Claire, do you even know what VHS tape is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's good. You know what's funny, Rick? Bill Belichick has a show on Underdog, I think, and he does it sometimes with Matt Patricia, who's worked for him forever. And they went through the process of what it was like to literally cut tape, like the projector tape, and you go through the plays and you stack them on first down, you stack them on second down. And it's a hours-long process.
Hours. I did that.
It's insane. That's why you're the IT guy, because you know how to cut tape.
Yeah, and then we went to beta. So then you had this little machine. After you stopped cutting tape, we had these beta. Do you know what beta is, Claire? The beta tapes?
That I do not.
I think it's a precursor to VHS. Is that right?
Postcursor, I think.
Oh, postcursor. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they were smaller, but you had this machine that you would put a blank beta tape in there, and then you were watching the regular beta on your screen, and then you would push, when you saw a play, record. So you'd have to record. That would show up on the blank, and then you hit stop, and then you go through 20 more plays, and then, I want to show that, and then hit record again. Gosh. It was a tedious process.
Today, now, Georgia, Texas plays, and then an hour and a half later, the game's uploaded, and you can watch it.
Yes. Yeah, that's not back in the day. Back in the day, even, I remember the video guys had a guy that actually had to, because if you were playing your opponent the next week, had to drive the tape to meet someone somewhere at the halfway point to exchange video.
Nuts. Well, I don't know if we'd have a draft show if that were still the case, Rick. Things might be a little different. Quickly before we take a break and go to the old 5-star reviews, any chance for a Will Campbell left tackle out of LSU or a Kelvin Banks left tackle out of Texas to go first overall? I mentioned that the Patriots currently have the first overall pick.
I'm not saying it's out of the picture because of the need that the Patriots have.
Yeah. Okay. All right.